you today? So we are back again. I'm Ayse Hogan from IAUSM, visionary of IAUSM, which is the International Academy of Universal Self-Mastery. It's a mouthful. It's a mouthful. But it's IAUSM for short, so IAUSM.com. And today I'm here with Cheryl Millett. She is one of our speakers and one of our faculty members at IAUSM. And we're going to talk a little bit to Cheryl, and we're going to tell you about the launch party that's coming up and just share all kinds of information with you. But Cheryl, let me introduce you. So you are a holistic nutritionist. You're into iridology. And I was reading on, and I was like, wow, she's an author of a book, All Guts, All Glory. Discover the root causes of diseases. So that's really interesting. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, I have to say I wanted to write a book. Well, thank you for having me on, and I think it's awesome. You know, IAUSM is awesome. I'm gonna say that the reason why I wrote the book is for years I knew I would write a book, but I just didn't want to write a book to say I wrote a book, and I just didn't want to write a book on what everybody else writes. So I had to find, over time, just discovering, trying to discover the truths and building a number of presentations and doing that, I discovered the stages of disease, which tells us exactly how things manifest very simply. And I said, of course, that's what I should write on. But I dove into other areas about dental health, about the mental component, about elements in the elemental table. What is our body actually made up of? Because you do hear these things when you're doing your schooling or when you're researching, you hear these things repeatedly. You're not quite sure where they come from or how they came to be. And so it was fun. It took me 2 years. And then I ended up having to do my own drawings, my own cover, my own publishing. So that, which I loved doing. So I was able to learn all these new skills by doing that. So I'm very excited about how it's going to impact and help people. But this is the whole inflammation thing that people don't understand. They keep hearing inflammation.
Right. And we've just learned to accept some things that we can change.
Mm-hmm. And
they say, accept what you cannot change, but there's so many things that you can change. Like there's so many things that we accept that we actually can change. It takes a little bit of effort. It takes some change in ourselves, but we absolutely can change it. Let's talk a little bit about iridology, because I don't think a lot of people really understand what that is either.
Yeah, it's iridology, depending on.
Am I saying it wrong? Sorry.
No, you can say it either. No, you can say it either way. But some people will be familiar with iridology, depending on where they're from in the country and what they've learned. But either way, what it is, it's the study of the iris, or they do the whites of the eye too. But it's an analytical tool, a diagnostic tool, which is easy to do. It's not evasive. It's simple, and as a picture is worth 1,000 words, this is probably worth 1,000,000 words, in a sense that through your whole system, through the nervous system, it's vibrating certain colors or irritation or congestion into the colored part of the eye.
So you can tell, and now I don't know that much about iridology. I'm familiar with the concept of it, but not, I've never experienced it. But what I understand is that you can pretty much tell almost everything. I heard, even including someone's past from their eyes.
Yes, there have been some people. Now, I was clinically trained, and that means we kind of stayed away from how many children do you have, that kind of thing. But there's a little bit of an opportunity to talk to people's personality, if they're type A personality, and that has to do with the nervous system. So there's something like that. But clinically trained, we really just stayed away from the number of things. But there's definitely an iridology, for some people might be confusing, is there are different schools of thought on it. Yeah.
But I guess at the end of the day, the point is that we could discover a lot. Just through someone's eyes.
A lot. Like it kind of ties in with the stages of disease, although that's not when I learned the stages of disease. But think of toxicity. It's as clear as, the nose on your face. Congestion, heart or circulatory congestion, lymphatic congestion. They're all there. If I show, I don't know how clear it'll come up, but I'll show a quick map just so you can have the understanding. People can have the understanding. It's like a simple chart, left and right. But yeah, you can tell if there's stress, if the person is holding on to stress or stress, tension, whatever we want to call it, they show up as a buckling of the fibers that come out from the pupils. There's a bunch of fibers. You can't see them in a true brown iris, but you can see them in the blue and lighter, but it doesn't matter. Many of the signs will show up in the eye, just like that. With the 2 minutes, I just have to look and I've already got the vision of what's going on.
That's fascinating. That is amazingly fascinating. So if someone was getting their eyes read,
Yeah.
someone was getting their eyes read, would they just sort of sit there with their eyes open and someone stares in them? Or, I mean, how does that work? Are there shining lights into your eyes? And is it discomfort? Is it uncomfortable to get your eyes read?
There is a couple of ways to do it. And one way is to just it's a high, magnifying glass, and you just kind of look, you're really close, you're kind of sitting them and you're looking here on what they're doing. But I got a camera. So earlier on, what I wanted to be able to do is to take pictures, photos of their eyes, be able to blow it up on the screen and look at it there. So we didn't have to sit beside them and looking at the different systems, oh, okay, lymphatic, okay. And then, but in a clinical, I've been trained to be able to do that. And you got a map. So you're able to draw things on the map. So then you've got the map and the key markings there. But I prefer the camera. Now there's actually software that you can put these pictures in and the computer will generate some communication on it. But I'd rather be not necessarily in control, but really hands-on with that. So the eye's the photo, good photo, and then you look up on the screen and you tell them about it.
Wow, that's exciting. And then, so you're going to be teaching a course in this as well in IAUSM, which that's exciting. And then, of course, you go into something else called YDAN, which is, though there's the YDAN exercises that you began teaching. You began teaching in Ireland. Now, see, I didn't know you were in Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland. Well, they had the walking holidays. YDAN's interesting because I learned it from a lady who had very serious health conditions back in Asia. And out of Qigong and Tai Chi, the masters had said, just do YDAN. That's the safest for you. It's all around body building, and you use your flexibility, your balance, and all of that. So when I heard that, I was very curious. And for several years, I just practiced it on my own. So I knew it like the back of my hand and I could travel with it. And when I offered it, because I do organize walking holidays, and the first one was in Ireland. And what I end up doing is say, hey, does anybody want to join me for the YDAN? And I offered to do it for free, just, come out. And so at times we had several people or 8 people come out. And then somebody said to me, I really want to learn this.
Right.
Will you teach it? And I said, well, I'd never thought of that. The reason why I learned it was to be able to pass it along to people. Hey, try YDAN. It will be good for you. Just go buy the DVD and do that. But people do like to learn in person. And so it's been about over 3 years now, kind of teaching it to people.
That's great. And you have a course in IAUSM about YDAN as well. So that's really cool. So so I'm going to ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Besides being a lovely friend of mine for many years now, what drew you to become part of this IAUSM project that we're doing here?
Well, if I have to be very truthful and honest about things, I've been doing metaphysical and mind-body work for what seems like almost a dozen years now, and I follow spirit. So spirit kind of guides and leads me. Things show up. And the interesting thing was just before then, I was thinking about where could I put courses, it's because of the way things were working with the world as it is, because the kind of timeline with that,
Right.
where could I teach it? So I was thinking about it already, and there you go, you showed up. So when that happened, it was like, of course, I know Ayse, which is okay. Didn't have to put on my corporate hat and think about who is Ayse and would it. No, I could just roll over and go, yeah, this is fabulous. And you did have quite the dream and the passion for it too, which is, it's all part, little pieces here that come together for IAWSM. And I just liked everything I heard. You showed up at the right time, and it was exactly what I was looking for.
It's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. It's been quite a journey. I keep saying that, but it really has been quite the journey. And for those of you who are just joining us, or this is the first of the series that you're watching before the launch. So at the launch, what's going to happen is we've got 30 speakers right now, 30 of our faculty. We have 70 faculty. So we have 30 that are going to be speaking at the launch. So we're going to be doing it interview style, which is kind of fun. And you'll be able to interact. As an attendee, you'll be able to interact with the teachers and ask questions and get to know them and get to know IAWSM more intimately. And there'll be lots of gifts and giveaways. We're also putting together an IAWSM loot bag, so that's going to be fun too. And we're just going to make it fun. We're going to have a weekend of fun and getting to know each other. And, this will be my first leading. I've been part of stuff like this before, but I've never led something like this before. So it'll be fun, and fingers crossed we don't have any tech issues, but we've got Dylan who's done this before. So this is kind of it's going to be a fun thing. I think, it's going to be great for people. I think we're going to have a lot of laughs, and people are really going to learn a lot and walk away with some great strategies and tools, and just want to be a part of IAWSM, because honestly, this is a place where people are going to be welcomed. And it was really hard for me, because I think a lot of people, when I first started talking to people about it at the very beginning, they kept saying, oh, so you're like Udemy. And I said, no, I'm nothing like Udemy. Not that there's anything wrong with Udemy. It just wasn't, that's not what it was. And it was more about the community, because we had this built-in community, right? So here you are on Facebook watching this, and there's timelines and there's groups and there's different things. And we have a lot of that as well. And it was just this way that students didn't have to be alone studying by themselves, where they're not accountable to anyone, where there was no one there to motivate them, where there was no one there to ask questions whenever they wanted to and get answers. And so, and have all these people helping them under one roof. And I think it's the collaboration. It's this cooperation between all of the faculty. And that's what I really love. It's not just a bunch of people with some courses on a platform. It's we're together. We're doing this together, and we are very together about it. And that's where I think we are a little unique in what we do.
Yeah, it's not so techie where it can seem so mechanical. It's kind of like combining the essence of our energies and using technology, because that is the beauty. Yeah,
it's been a challenge, trying to mold the two. I mean, not as it could have been worse, but what I really think I really love about it, because we had to rebuild the site a couple of times and stuff, because it just wasn't matching the vision. And I was adamant, it has to be the vision, make it work. There's no reason why this vision showed up and we can't have what we want with it. So, it showed up, so let's do it. And we have. So it's pretty exciting. So July 10th and 11th, please come and join us, and myself and Cheryl and 29 other speakers and Dylan, and we're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time, and it's free, and you can be a part of it. And then you can decide whether you want to enroll in IAWSM. I think you should. It's so crazy affordable too. And that was another thing. There was so many people out there who want assistance with things, but the prices for some things have become so expensive and so over the top. And, the one-on-one coaching, some people just can't do it.
Yeah, this is definitely the stage in, there's one stage in where people go, okay, I'm going to read this article, I'm going to watch this program. And there's the other stage in where you have a little bit more attention to, I would say, it's almost like being in front of an audience. Even though there's an audience, it's not one-on-one, but they can ask their questions and they can learn the information, but you do have at least some connection to the person with the, with the information or the knowledge or the experience. And then, yeah, one-on-one if need be, but there's a lot, because that's what I'm going to use IAUSM for. Iridology is only one diagnostic tool. There's tongue analysis, there's all of these things. And I want to do really a series of self-diagnosis so people can understand their body. It isn't about, I can't be the practitioner that goes, okay, do this and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. I can't do that. It's almost like, no, you have to understand how things work and how it goes together and why you're doing. So they have some empowerment and inspiration to do anything that they're doing. They're not hands off.
Right. No, they have to be hands-on. I mean, the intention in that is so powerful, is to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. And that just empowers you even more than someone just telling you something or you're reading it in a book. So yeah, this is so amazing. I'm so glad, Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me today. And we have so much more to share with the world. I'm so excited. And thank you for taking some time and listening. You're going to be seeing me a lot this week. We have a lot of interviews this week and next week. So we will talk to you soon. Much love to all of you and see y'all soon. Thank you.